am not going to be sharing as much today. I think I have a lot though. Like I could have 20 points basically, and counting, because others I literally just write them down. I jot them down as I go. So I have 20 points, but today I think I'm just going to tackle 5, probably in like 10 minutes. I honestly don't want to waste your time, so please don't worry. So the title of this live was basically things I wish I knew before my first surgery. So there are quite a number of things that I wish I knew, and I think I really feel like it would have helped a lot with regards to maybe the expectations that I had when it comes to the surgery and after the surgery as well. So what I felt like, I'm basically going to just summarize the things I felt like I needed to know before the surgery, or the things that could possibly happen before the surgery. Hi Makungu, my friend. And basically the things that could have possibly happened after the surgery as well. So I'm literally going to start with the first thing that was weird. Completely weird, because I was like, what? Like, I've never heard anyone say this. Well, some of you could have heard it, but I never did. So if you know me, I have a piercing. So here it is, like on my nose. I have a piercing on my nose. And then I recently got this one. It's another piercing. I'm so sorry. Please don't mind my hair. And then I recently got another one here. Yeah, probably was like maybe, I don't know, a month ago. So I had the piercing, and it was like a bit of a while. So at that point, I could take it off and put it back on, which was good, but it was still a bit sore, like, because it takes quite some time to heal. Basically, it takes quite some time. So when the nurse came, so sorry, hi Talani, welcome, thanks for joining. So when we go to surgery or to theater, basically what happens is they sit you down in your bed, and then a nurse comes and preps you for the surgery. So as she's prepping you for the surgery, she's asking you like basic things, pretty much. According to them, they probably think, yeah, a piercing is like obvious, I should know, but I didn't know. So the nurse comes to me and says, can you remove the piercing? Like, as in, like, is it possible for me to remove it? So I'm like, yeah, it is. So she's like, can you please remove it, because they don't allow piercings in theater. And I'm like, why? Like, why? What's gonna happen? Like, why do they want piercings? Don't they want piercings? And she was like, yeah, I don't know why, but it's literally just standard procedure. Because if you have a piercing, and I don't know what it does, I really honestly don't know with regards to the machines or whatever. I think I need to research this. But earrings out, literally. So your earrings would go out, piercings would go out completely, and then the juice of it all would be, they would give you a gown, and then you have to wear like those hospital gowns, basically. So after wearing the hospital gowns, they would then give you like a, I don't know if I should say it's like a, I don't know, it's a panty. They're panties, but the panties are like from paper, sort of like synthetic plastic or paper. I'm trying to think of something I can like describe it with. I think I should have just gotten something to make an example of it with. Okay, so it's like, it's like it's not plastic and it's not fabric. It's just in between. Mesh, yeah, it's like mesh. Finally. The right word. Yes, it's like mesh. So you have to wear your underwear. So that is basically your underwear, pretty much. And everyone has to do that, male or female. Like, you can't go in with your things, you know. You remove your things, put them in the cupboard, and take their things and you put them on, so that, you know. the surgery can go well, I guess. I don't know. So now when the lady said I need to wear that thing, in my head I'm asking myself, it was weird because obviously my surgery was an abdominal one. So because it was abdominal, I knew obviously I don't have control over what they see and what they don't. But it was just weird, like, and very uncomfortable, because I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna be seeing my thing. So yeah, that cracked me up. So, but I did it anyway, because it's not like I had a choice. And basically they take your belongings and they put them in a like proper place, so that when you come back you can just get them, basically. So if you ever happen to go for a surgery and you have a piercing, please just leave it at home. It's not worth it. You have a piercing, leave it at home. You leave your panties at home. I don't want to say it like that, but you get what I mean. Yeah, and then they give you their clothes, basically. When I went there for the first time, they didn't give me an option, to be honest. This is not before the theater visit. Hi, Katelia. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So it was after. So they didn't give me a choice to, not wear the gown or wear the gown. I just literally wore the gown because that was what was given. So, but yeah, because I stayed long in hospital, like I ended up just wearing my onesies and wearing my whole things. So yeah, that was another thing. The second thing that was very weird. The second thing that I feel like you guys need to know that was a bit weird. It's not funny, but that was a bit weird, was the patient information. So before you go to theater, the nurse needs to make sure they check that you are the right person. So when they check you're the right person, they basically check your ID, they look recognition, and then they also make sure they have to write like the exact name, surname. If you have two names, they write it in the exact same way. What? My name is Rixongile Ngobeni. They'd write it like that, and they'd give you like this bracelet that has your name written on it, and then it also has your doctor, your surgeon, written on it, and then it also has your, I'm not so sure about age, I don't remember, but it also has your procedure written on it. So when this was happening, initially I didn't think it was much of a big deal, because I'm just like, it's protocol for the hospital. But I happened to have had a chat with someone, it was a nurse actually from the hospital, and she was telling me they've once had an issue with a patient where the patient had the tag, but the tag was not written the procedure, and they had to go up and down, like literally looking for the type of procedure, and the patient was not being operated on by their respective surgeon. So that was a bit of a problem. So what they do is they need to make sure you're the right person. They need to make sure that the surgery, the procedure is the correct one. So before you go to theater, they ask you, what do you think you're going to be doing there? They don't expect you to have like scientific wording when it comes to that, but they do ask, and then they confirm with regards to what you know. And then the third thing, I didn't know about the patient information. Honestly, I don't want to lie, because I was like, really, it's not that deep. You've seen me, you know me. I mean, I'm admitted here, so how can you make a mistake? That was weird. That was very weird for me. And then another thing I feel like I really honestly think, this is the third one, yeah, I really honestly think I would have loved to know before my first surgery. The third thing, I have a very bad memory, guys, I'm so sorry, and I'm literally trying to remember. Oh yes, consent. So before you go to surgery, you have to, when the nurse is basically walking you through everything that's going to happen, you have to sign a consent form. So when you sign a consent form, you're basically saying to the surgeon and to the hospital that you are aware of what is going to be happening, like you're aware of this procedure, you have given consent with regards to what the procedure entails. And yeah, and the one thing that I want to stress is, to be entirely honest with you, I've had, I don't know how many surgeries, like 7 surgeries, but I've never read the consent form. Like, ba 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 ba. Don't shoot me, but like I've never read the consent form because in my head I'm thinking this thing is so long. So it's sad, but like one of the days after the surgery happened, a friend of mine was like, do you know that when you go to theater, you're actually consenting to the fact that whatever they do, basically, because doctors are doctors. This is the principle I actually was blown away by when the person explained, and they're like, doctors have practices. So doctors are meant to help us, right? But doctors have practices. So a doctor is meant to help you by practicing on you, basically. So the first time they were doctors, either they were young or, in university, they practiced with someone. And when you come, you might be maybe the first person they practice with, the second person they practice with, or the 50th person they practice with. We don't know, but the fact of the matter is they're not God. So they are practicing so they can be better and continue to help people in a different and a better way. So for me, I was just like, okay, that's crazy. That's actually quite weird because, okay, a consent form is actually quite important. So basically, the consent form usually says things like, if anything happens, the doctor has the right to call whatever. Basically, if I'm young and let's say, for example, I'm having a surgery in my abdomen and I have a kid and the doctor knows and I happen to complicate I give consent to the doctor to decide with regards to what happens. So it's highly possible that maybe the doctor would decide, you know what, let's stop the surgery here, let's close her, and then take her back because she has kids. That is a call that the doctor does. Or she could say, no, let's do it. She will live, And yes, sometimes you live, and unfortunately, sometimes you die. But even when you die, that's why it's not really as easy for you to fight. I don't want to say the hospital, but doctors in actual fact, because in most cases you have given them consent with your life, basically, because at that particular point you are unresponsive. At that particular point you can't talk, you can't make decisions for yourself. So someone else has to step in and make decisions for you, basically, which then becomes obviously your surgeon, because at the end of the day they are responsible for you, basically. Got it? So yeah, so the third thing was consent. And then the fourth thing that was a bit important that I really honestly wish I knew was I really wish my doctor clearly outlined the risks. I'm so sorry about that. I hope nothing happened. Yeah, I really wish she could have clearly outlined the risks of having a surgery. And this is because, like I said to some of you guys, when I went to her, she said, oh my goodness, you have a big fibroid, let's go for surgery. And the reason why she went for surgery, I understood, because the fibroid was very big. Number one. Number two, the fibroid was causing a lot of pain. That's number two. Number three, the fibroid was causing a lot of bleeding. So the pain and the bleeding becomes a problem, because that means I'm highly susceptible to being anemic, to fainting, basically, in actual fact, or anything can basically happen to me any day because of the severe symptoms. So I did understand the call, but I feel like she probably should have explained more about the risks that come with you being on the table, basically, like what can happen, because I think that would have worked well. Like, I would have been very prepared for anything that was to happen to me, because at least she explained. I mean, when I got in, I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd end up in ICU. Like, never. I didn't even, I'd never. And in my head, when I go to ICU, I remember when it's happening to me at that time, I'm just like, no, man, it's not a big deal. Like, you're going to ICU, you'll be fine, you'll go home, But when I told my family members, they're like, what? You're in the ICU? We need to pray, we need to fast, we need to do everything we can. Yeah, so it was quite, weird. But I really wish she told me, because at least I could have prepared way better mentally. And let me just mention as well that I keep telling my family and friends that had I gone to the hospital at that particular time and was fighting depression, or maybe had suicidal thoughts, or maybe wanted to literally pretty much just die because, I don't know, life is a lot and things like that, I kid you not, I definitely would have died. Like, bluntly so. I would have died. Because the experience does not only need you to be okay emotionally. It really, really needs you to be okay mentally as well. So if you're not ready mentally, if you're not okay mentally, it's easy for you to give up, and when you give up, your body gives up and you're done, basically. So I think the mental readiness was very important, and unfortunately I didn't get that, which is a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I think I'm a better person now, and I know better, and I can advise better, which is also one reason why I'm actually doing this live today, to be entirely honest with you. I don't have to do it, but I feel there's a need to do it, because it might not be you going through the exact same issue or challenge, but it could be a family member, it could be a friend, and you making sure you try and assist them by trying to advise them based on the things we've heard here would be of great assistance, because unfortunately at that time I didn't have someone to tell me, dude, you gonna die. I don't know. I think, number one, God loves me. Number two, I'm just a very positive person in general. Like, I really, really, really love life. Like, even if life chops me down, I really love life, like, a lot. So in my head, I could not comprehend not leaving for the next day. I couldn't, there's no way. In my head, I was like, there's no way I'm dying. I'm young. Like, when I die, what would I have done? Like, no, God, like, no, like, make a plan, because I don't want to die. And I think that is the greatest thing that was helping me to fight the battle, like, honestly. And then I'll just talk about number 5, which is it's not the last one, because I did say I have like 20 more. I have 20 more points that I pretty much need to talk about. But I think maybe I can just share the last one. The last one for me for today was, I really wish they told me the pain, the pain after the surgery, because when I get into surgery, on that day, unfortunately, I was in pain. I'm so sorry, guys. Can I just... Okay, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, on the first day, I was in pain. I was in a lot of pain. But it was just like, it was familiar pain, because I came into the hospital with pain. I mean, I'm trying to have them solve my problem. So, but when I came out, I was, obviously they give you an anesthesia. Hey, I hope I said it correctly. And it makes it better, and pain meds and things like that. It makes it better for a specific period of time. And after that, oh my gosh, you are literally going to go isha, because yazini, like, yo, guys. And I think that was one of the times where I felt like, painkillers are needed a lot. They are needed. I understand why they are there, because no. So I really think I knew I would be in pain. Like, obviously it's a surgery, they opened me up. I really honestly knew I would be in pain, but I didn't know the intensity of the pain. And I really do think I would have appreciated knowing, had she probably maybe explained or told me about the fact that, hey babes, so that's the 5th thing. And I'm literally gonna stop there for today. For today, please let me know what you would want me to cover in future as well, considering the fact that I'd also like to bring people that are experts in whatever I'm talking about, because yes, it's enough for me to talk about my experience, but I'd really like to back it up by proper advice and experienced advice, qualified advice that can be of assistance not just to me but to everyone who is going to be watching my lives and going to be watching every single thing that I'll be doing. So please let me know, guys. You can comment, you can text, you can call, you can anything. Please just let me know. But today is a Sunday, so for the next week I am definitely going to be talking about the other 5 again. The other 5 again, so which will take us to 10 pretty much. 5 of the things that I felt like I really honestly wish I knew, and I'm sharing all these things because I also want you to know, even if it's not you but your family members that are going for surgery. I mean, a word of wisdom will be very important, trust me, regardless of the type of surgery it is, and regardless of the type of how old the person is. I think the experience is quite similar. So yeah. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for actually staying this long. So I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you clicking on this live. I really do. So thank you. I'll hear from you, and we'll meet again sometime this week. Ciao. Bye, guys. Okay, so now I need to stop.